Hello, everybody. Today is the eve of Mother's Day, and I am in my kitchen. I already completed the morning ritual, which consists of making coffee and tea, and I will read a poem inspired by my pain and suffering, which, best to my knowledge, is my first poem about my invisible disability. But before that, because it's 2025, I do want to talk a little bit about my feelings and probably more than that. I'm going to ad lib. I literally don't have anything in front of me. You have to trust me or just scroll down to find other, maybe more useful posts. I say I ad lib and it's true, but at the same time, I'm a woman in my 50s. I'm a woman who has been through a lot. I am a woman who has been trying to make a voice and make an impact. And I guess that my stubbornness is, to a certain extent, a quality. So I don't have anything in front of me. I don't have a script, but I have experience. And because of that, I feel exactly like I am, confident. When my mother died in 1992, those were the first 2 years after the Romanian Revolution. And I had to deal not only with the loss, not only with the huge hole that her death left on my body and on my mind, but I also had to deal with silence. Now, contrary to what people may think, there is oppressive silence. And in my family, I think, and I'm more than that, I know we loved one another dearly and deeply. So silence wasn't a way to shush anyone, but in this particular case, silence was because we had no idea how to talk about it. And my mother didn't know how to talk about that. So in the aftermath of losing my mother, this silence continued because, again, it's not like overnight her death would give me the key to open an invisible box where silence is actually going to be materialized and will have sounds and meanings. No, I would continue this. I will continue on this silent path, reading a lot and listening to music and coming to this country, United States. And one thing that I'm extremely proud of this country is that it gave me a voice. So silence, going back to that, contrary to what people may think, when it is repressed, when it is not manifested via different outlets, becomes louder and louder. And it is terrifying what it can do to your body. So, in addition to not knowing how to deal with my mother's silence and all of us in that family, another reason why I didn't devote time and energy to my own medical condition was because I had no idea that what I was being suffering from was not a medical condition per se, or only just a medical condition per se, but it was also a disability. Now, it took the medical community to recognize that some disabilities are more easily diagnosed and in some cases can be seen with our naked eyes. But similar to what I was saying before, do not be fooled that silence is not loud. On the contrary, it is very, very loud, and in some cases could be damaging when perpetuated. So similar to what I said before, the medical community did us wrong because not everything is perceivable with the naked eye. And a migraine is not just a headache. So I'm glad when the HR also caught up with this idea that listing disabilities is actually more than that. More than what we usually were led to believe. And when you are stubborn the way I am, you're also hopeful. Because for me, hope is not guaranteed. Hope is something that you work on making sure it stays afloat, it is visible, and it is addressed constantly. So I have started to write about my own pain, and I don't know if these migraines will ever stop. As I'm recording this, I was in pain since last night. I went to sleep because I guess this is what the body does. I woke up midnight. I was still in pain. And here I am today. So ad-lib is concluded, so to speak, and I'm going to read to you visualization. Migraines for beginners. Note, this is a poem accompanied by a collage that talks about migraines, one hidden disability about which we should publish more to ensure that its commonality doesn't mean the sufferer's experience is less debilitating. The poem is going to be part of my second volume of poems. It's not an album, it's embodied. It's not a story about you narrated by another. It's a first felt memory of you. Broken. Unde te doare? The mother asks. Aici. The 5-year-old points to her head. Cum te doare? The little girl has no idea how to verbalize agony, so she gestures. 2 fists put together and banged against each other. Try that. They make sound, you make sound, but it's outside of you. This is what the little girl feels. The sound inside her head, the loud beast. She wants to listen to fairy tales on their vintage record player. A 49-year-old woman confesses. All of the sudden, my head grows exponentially big, but not in size, in weight. Invisible to the other's eyes, but knowing inside my head, and yet multiplying uncontrollably. It's hard to put into words, but you must see what I feel. It's like I carry 2 bags. I know their weight. I feel comfortable holding them when, unbeknownst to me, heavy loads are added. My body, exploited, reacts as it descends into hell. I lower myself. I bend under pressure. I drop the bags. I stand still. My head has metamorphosed into cemented bricks. I can't even gently move my head up and down without feeling intense pain. My own tears feel sorry for me. They look at me, refusing to come out fully. I exist in the expanding land of pain, but you see me whole. Projected, we follow directions and read together the woman's note. It is I who I must tell you how I feel, using a subject and a verb. I suffer. It is you who must listen. Whenever I come back from a migraine episode, I dance like a lunatic. I feel unstoppable. I see the 5-year-old girl still terrified. I take her tiny hands in mine. Give yourself permission to be afraid. Sunt aici. And because you're going to see the photo that I created, I don't know the exact age of the little girl or the woman behind it. I know that the one behind the little girl was definitely a person who was living in between states, because by then I was coming to be in the United States for 9 months, and I would be traveling to Romania for the summer. So again, dual existence and exposure. The little girl is wearing something very, very cute on her head, that huge bow. And I just want to say that if you have something like me, an experience like me, and you didn't know how to deal with it for your own personal reasons, try to find ways to talk about your pain and suffering, because every single story matters, and we don't have to be published authors to be allowed to talk about this. And I believe that the more we talk about our personal experiences, not only we validate them personally and publicly, but also we let everybody else, including doctors and policymakers, that we are here. And we contribute to our society's best to our abilities, but we are here. This is why the poem ends like this. Sunt aici, I am here, replace I with we, and let's continue to fight for our rights, because health rights are global rights. Thank you.